The Ukrainian military is now taking anti-drone technology advice from teenagers. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. For years into a brutal, grinding war, when the sky itself has become the most dangerous part of the battlefield, one of Ukraine's most surprising new weapons was built not in a lab, but in a teenager's bedroom. An 18-year-old from Kyiv, armed with a 3D printer, a laptop, and stubborn curiosity, created something that the military had been desperate for: a shotgun round that fires a net one capable of catching Russian FPV drones in flight. It costs just a few dollars to make, yet it's saving lives on the front lines. And this invention, born out of fear, grief, and determination, tells a bigger story. A story of how Ukraine turned desperation into innovation, and how a new generation is fighting not with rank or weapons, but with ideas. When Russia's full-scale invasion began in 2022, the war looked traditional: tanks, artillery, airstrikes. But within months, everything changed. The war moved into the sky. At first, drones were tools for reconnaissance, flying eyes that spotted enemy positions. Then came the grenades, the modified FPV drones. Tiny aircraft with cameras, explosives, and the precision of a sniper flown by operators wearing video goggles miles away. What was once a cheap hobby became the most feared weapon of the war. FPV drones now hunt soldiers in trenches, vehicles on roads, even individuals trying to evacuate the wounded. A single $400 drone can destroy a tank worth millions. Soldiers describe the noise of their rotors, a distant buzz, as the sound of death. If you hear that sound, one Ukrainian soldier said, you have 5 seconds to live. Both armies use them relentlessly. Thousands are launched every day, so many that some soldiers call the sky a digital minefield. By 2024, NATO estimated that over half of Russia's tank losses came from FPV drones. For Ukraine, drones became the equalizer, their way to fight back against a larger enemy with intelligence and speed instead of numbers. But this new kind of warfare brought new problems. How do you defend against something that's small, that fast, that cheap? Traditional air defenses like Patriot or NASAMS can intercept drones, but at a terrible cost. Each missile can cost up to $7 million. The drone it shoots down, maybe 500. It's an equation no army can sustain forever. And that's why innovation became Ukraine's most powerful weapon. Across the country, small workshops, garages, and even classrooms turned into mini labs. Teenagers, engineers, and volunteers started 3D printing drone parts, assembling jammers, and building devices from whatever materials they could find. That's how it began for Yurii, a quiet 17-year-old from Kyiv who couldn't stay idle while his city was being bombed. He lived in Chulyovka, a district hit hard during the first weeks of invasion. When his school shut down, he decided to study something else: how machines work, how weapons are made, how to build something that could actually help. He spent hours on YouTube, learning everything from aerodynamics to circuit design. He scavenged old drone parts, melted plastic, and printed prototypes on a small 3D printer his uncle had given him years earlier. His first projects failed: a quieter drone propeller that broke mid-test, an improvised jammer that overheated in seconds. But he kept going. And one night, while gaming with a friend online, inspiration struck. What if a shotgun could shoot a net? It sounded ridiculous. But in a war where $10 ideas can save lives, nothing is too crazy to try. Yurii designed his first prototype out of cheap plastic tubing and nylon cords. He brought it to a local military range, and the soldiers there couldn't believe their eyes or his age. "You're 17. One of them laughed. "What kind of children build ammo?" He smiled. "Ukrainian ones." The first test half worked. The net tangled in mid-air, but still caught part of a small drone. A commander told him, "If you can make this for shotguns, not grenade launchers, well, use it." So he did. 2 weeks later, Yurii returned with a redesigned shell. This one fired smoothly and deployed a net that spread perfectly in the air. A few days later, he received a message from the front lines. "It works. 2 drones down. Send more." That single text changed everything. Word spread quickly through the units. The 3rd Assault Brigade, one of Ukraine's most respected and tech-savvy formations, began testing his shells in real combat. They caught drones hovering low over trenches. They even managed to take down fast-moving FPVs at close range. Soon, the idea reached the special forces operating near the Kursk region. One soldier reported shooting down a Mavic drone at 50 meters, as something almost no one thought possible with a shotgun. It looked like a miracle, he said. One shot, and it just dropped. For Yurii, this was the moment his work became real. I realized people were alive because of something I built, he said later. That's the best feeling I've ever had. Encouraged by the results, Yurii and a small team of friends decided to turn his project into a small startup. They partnered with Brave One, Ukraine's defense tech incubator, a government-backed platform that helps civilian inventors turn battlefield ideas into mass-produced military tech. Brave One has supported dozens of similar projects: rifle attachments that fire nets, handheld jammers that block enemy drone signals, and even eye-driven detection systems. But Yurii's invention stood out because it was mechanical, no electronics, no batteries, no training required. A soldier can use it instantly. Load, aim, shoot, and the drone is gone. One official at Brave One said, "The beauty of this war, if you can call it that, is how fast ideas move." A 17-year-old with a printer can change tactics faster than an entire factory. Of course, Yurii isn't the only one innovating. Other Ukrainian engineers are working on similar anti-drone devices. The company Teneta developed a Mitla launcher, a powerful net gun that traps drones at short distances. It works, but it's heavy, expensive, and single-use. Yurii's shell, meanwhile, can be reloaded and reused dozens of times. Ukraine's defense industry is also experimenting with larger, automated systems. Projects like Sky Sentinel, an eye-powered turret capable of tracking and shooting down drones flying at speeds over 500 miles per hour, show the technological leap Ukraine is making. But each unit costs more than $150,000 and protects only a small area. That's why Yurii's simple shotgun round matters so much. It's cheap, it's accessible, and it puts power directly in the hands of soldiers, not machines. Today, Yurii splits his time between studying engineering at university and testing his designs in military training zones. He's still part of Centuria, a youth military organization connected to the 3rd Assault Brigade. Some days he attends lectures, other days he's out in the field modifying his prototypes, recording data, improving range and precision. His professors know what he does. Some even support him quietly, offering lab space or materials. They understand that this isn't just a hobby, he says. It's survival. He's already working on a new version, one that automatically deploys a wider net and can hit faster drones at longer distances. When asked if he plans to join the army full-time, he hesitates. Maybe, he says. But for now, I'm more useful here. Ukraine's war has turned ordinary people into innovators. Mechanics became drone builders. Teenagers became engineers. Every workshop is a lab, every invention a potential lifeline. And behind each of these creations lies the same motivation: not glory, not money, but the need to protect. Yurii's story is just one among thousands, but it shows what happens when courage meets creativity. In this war, the sky belongs to whoever thinks faster. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to learn more about the most unexpected military innovations coming from Ukraine and beyond.